In this tutorial, we're going to take the Universal Filter plugin by Square Websites or Squarespace, and we're going to install it for the first time on a live website. What could go wrong? I haven't tried it yet on this blog, and this is our own blog at Pixelhaze Academy. One thing I've been looking to do for a while is just to make it a little bit more seamless to navigate through, easier for viewers, where we can go through and organize our blog posts and point viewers to the right category. So once they finish the post, if there's any related topics within that category that we think can help the viewer completely for free, that's where the filter plugin will come in. It's not going to look perfect at the moment because we're going to need to do quite a bit of housekeeping to go through and tidy up the categorization and tagging within our blog, but it's on our to-do list over the coming weeks. So you might find that I'm going to enable it now as part of this tutorial. It'll probably be disabled for a week or two whilst we get our back office all tidied up and organized ready for this content. So anyway, that's enough of an intro for this video. Let's jump in and have a go and see if this works. First of all, I'm going to jump across to our page that we get once we've purchased the plugin with the instructions of how to install everything. And I'm going to copy this script here. All I'm going to do now is go to my blog page. So if I jump back to the main menu, if we start off, this is when you first log into Squarespace. If you go to Pages, then you find your blog on the menu system. It's here. Now we can go to this cog option, which will go into the blog settings, go down to Advanced, and once I've clicked on Advanced, we can go to Page Header Code Injection. We can see that I've also got some content already in place on this. We can just ignore that for now and carve out a section at the top. I'll put a comment above it. I'll call this blog filter plugin, just so I know where each section of custom code will start and finish. I also may need to remove the sidebar plugin, which is a separate third-party plugin by SKOOL Themes. We're now ready to press save. However, if you find that you don't have any existing code in here, you can add a comment using this format, which is the triangular bracket, exclamation mark and a couple of dashes, and then a couple of dashes and a closing triangular bracket to finish. That's universal, allows us to put those comments into our code to organize it and keep it nice and neat. Now we've done that, we can press save. We're going to come back to this in a moment. And we should be able to see this Get Filter Config button here. If you're not seeing it, there's maybe something that you've done wrong, which I'll show you in just a moment. But for now, I'm just going to, with code selected, I'm just going to select all of that code in that block. I'm going to press Command-C on a Mac, or you can use Control-C on a Windows computer, or right-click and press Copy. I'm going to close that down, then go back into our blog settings, Advanced. And if you didn't see that button, there's a chance that you put Post Blog Item Code Injection and you clicked on that instead of the Page Header Code Injection. I actually did that the first time without thinking because I was too busy talking to you, and that's why it didn't appear for me. So now we've got this code, I'm going to actually get rid of that script that we already put in because we don't need it anymore. And now I'm going to paste in the code for that. So now we can scroll down, see all of this code. We've got a tag or a comment at the top that tells us where that area starts. And we've also got a comment showing where the next section starts. So now with that in place, we can press save and see how that's looking. So we can see by default, it's added our filter plugin on the left-hand side. And we can see our categories in place. There we go. Now it's loaded all of the categories. It took a little while to load them all. We can see we've got way too many options on there. So we're going to need to go through and tidy that up. And tags is even more. This blog has been built up over about 4 or 5 years, and it was very much a testing ground for some of our own theories around search engine optimization and how often you should post. So even though a lot of care and attention has gone into the blog posts themselves, we haven't spent anywhere near as much time organizing this blog as we'd like. But that will be changing soon. So we can see there's a sort filter A to Z, older or newer, which is quite a handy starting point. And we can search the blog. So if I search for lazy load, these are the 3 blog posts that have got that keyword in there. Nice and straightforward. What happens when I go through to a blog post itself? We can see that that's now removed. And we can see the blog post in full page layout. So this filter only works on the blog listing page, but I'm a big fan of that. Just makes it a little bit easier when someone goes through to the blog so they can find out information. You also don't need the search option there. So even though this isn't perfect, there's definitely a couple of things I'd like to do just to tidy this up. So if I jump back into the blog settings and again back into advanced and header code injection, we could see the code that we've got for this. Every tutorial I've created on this plugin up until this point has been for an online store. And the beauty of this plugin is by putting that original line of code in, then clicking on the button to get the full selection of code, that will change depending on whether it's a blog or an online store. That means that we've got individualized code for each, which I think is just genius in the simplicity and stripping out all of the complexity around using the code. There's no having to pick one or the other. It's essentially you install the one line of code, then it gives you everything you need to copy. We could just leave it at this point and not do anything extra. And all we've needed to do is just copy and paste, making this relatively straightforward even for beginners. We can see now we've got the option to change drop-downs to buttons, breadcrumbs, modern, pill buttons, or inline buttons, depending on how we want to go about it. I like the drop-downs. I think that works really well in this case. So let's make this section sticky as well. And let's go for 40 items per page. No, actually, we'll go with 36, which gives us 2 extra rows, because by default, we're going to be looking at 3 across. So let's go with 36. Now expand that to full screen. You can see our thumbnails, we can see the posts. And the beauty of this now is, as we scroll down, we can see that this remains sticky on the left-hand side. The only thing is, there might be some interference with additional code that we've added in, because we can see that category section is hidden when we scroll down. That might be just a little bit of tinkering with the custom CSS that I'm going to need to do to get that working. I think now at this stage, we can probably get rid of this search from up here. I can make this maybe a paragraph 2 to make the top section more compact. And now by just changing that, maybe that's fixed it. No. There seems to be an issue when we're previewing the page that's disappearing. It could be that on a live site. Let's have a look. This is why you shouldn't be doing tutorials on a live site. We can see the categories being hidden, so that's going to be a little line of code that we're going to need to put in to the CSS today just to fix that particular issue. It's almost certainly clashing with another plugin that we've got installed, or some custom code, whether it's the sticky header or something else that's interfering with it. So it should be a nice, easy fix. It could even be that this is a fixed masthead, and that causes the issue as well. But anyway, hope you found that helpful. That's just how we can install this plugin into a live blog and get it working 90% of what we want it to. Of course, we've got some organizing to do with the categories and tags and fixing that one little bug. Overall, I'm really happy with this. I think it's far more useful and user-friendly than the original blog post without these filtering options. If you want to find out more about this, I've got a community over on SKOOL, which is just $15 a month, where I provide wraparound support, and myself and our team are available to you. So you can ask us about this plugin, about Square websites and their additional plugin range, or anything Squarespace related, and we'll be on hand to help. Information in the description. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time. Cheers.